Hi guys, come with me while we make tastiest meat pie at home, easy to make. So stay tuned and do not go anywhere. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Glowing and Growing by Tina. So today I want to show you all how I made my meat pie at home. Oh my god, this was so yummy. It was easy to make and so what I just started with my beef. I usually like to boil my beef myself. I don't like the minced meat. And then I put in all my spices. As you can see, just put everything together. I cut them in big chunks so that it's going to cook. And I put everything that I need to put in there. Put my water, and then I let this cook for like 2 to 3 hours because I want the meat to be really soft so that it's just tearing apart. So I just throw in everything in there and sit for it to cool. While it's cooking, I go ahead to make my dough. You can see everything that I used for my dough. Very easy, nothing complicated. Ice cold water to be precise. So I just go ahead and lay the flour down on the table. I only use salt and butter and cold water, ice cold water. I don't want any complicated anything. So I just see how I'm doing it. Open the whole thing, put in my butter. Oh, I did not have the cooking butter, so I just went ahead and used my table butter. It's the same thing, and don't be careful because the table butter already has some salt. You do not want to go ahead and put more salt and make the whole thing, so you just add a little pinch of salt more and you start kneading. I just do my thing. Look at that. I love working with my hands because it just gives me control over the whole thing. And I knead this for about 10 minutes. So yeah, I continue kneading until I don't feel any bumps or anything. Everything feels smoother. Then I go ahead and add my water. You just put little water at a time because you want to feel the consistency, how it's going before you add more water. So I just keep on kneading gently. When you put the water, it's going to be running around. And if it's too much for you, you can divide it into two like I did. So I separated it into two, and I just continued kneading the section where it was not well coated in water. So I added more water in there and then just kneaded it. When it was all formed as in almost a ball size, I put everything together and then I continued working with it. And after a while, everything just kind of comes together, and that is where we want it to be. And then I took it, I put in a plastic bag, then I kept in the refrigerator while I went ahead to do my chopping of the spices. Well, then I looked at my beef and it was cooking very well. Everything was going as planned, and the beef was ready. So I just took it out, see how it's just falling off. Everything is just falling in place. So as I made my beef in small pieces, my vegetables as well, which I use carrots, green beans, potato to put in as the coating inside. See, you can see garlic, some onions, spring onions, and the beef right there. So I like the beef to stay moist because it's going to be too dry and you don't want your meat pie to be dry inside. So I use some cooking butter and then some oil for frying, and I go ahead and start with my onions. I fry the onions a little bit until it's soft. I add in my garlic, add in my spring onions, everything. I just be putting them together, and then I have some bouillon cubes. You can see them on the side, but I had already boiled the meat with so much spicy, so I try not to spice it too much. That's my potato going in. I fry the potato for a minute or two, and yeah, when it's all sauteed and coated in the oil, I put in my carrot. I don't want too many things in the meat pie. You just want to have the vegetables. And then I put my green beans and just mix everything and keep frying. When it feels soft, then I add in my meat because the meat is already too cooked. How else can you cook that meat? And look at that. Everything is just coming together. Oh my God. This was when I'm telling you, I loved the process. So yeah, when it was ready, I got out my dough from the fridge, and then see how soft it is. I love it. I cut them into small pieces and put them back in the plastic because I don't want them to be out and dry. So I cut them in small pieces so it's easy for me to just take and roll out. And then I put in the plastic and set on the side. So I just go in there and pick one at a time and roll it out. The process starts by taking a little piece. See, I get it ready for rolling, put it down, and I get my roller. So this is the most fun process. You just be there and be in your element. I roll it out, and then you see how not too flat, because you don't want it too thick, but I don't like my meat pie being too flat or too heavy either, because I want you to feel the vegetables on the inside and the meat. That's the purpose of meat pie. And then I just go ahead and scoop it with a spoon. See, I feel it. I really do feel my meat pie. And I lock it up like that. I use a knife to cut there so that you can really find the sealing. That helps to seal it. Then I use a fork now to like press it out. Look at that. So I use the fork to press it out, and I just make my little design on top, the little holes, and making sure that it's well sealed, because the last thing you want is for your meat pie to be open. And it should look something like this. Easy peasy. I told you it was easy to make. So I just went ahead and do the same process over and over again until I had about a tray of meat pie. Yeah, so see, you just open it up, make the same thing. I always hold it. I start with the dough by spreading it on my hands a little bit, just so that it's easy to work with, because it can be sticky. I never add more flour on the surface because I like my dough the way I like my dough. I just go ahead and repeat the same process over and over again. I just want to show you all this so that you can see. And I lock it up, and I use my knife. See, I press first with my fingers, then I use my knife to take it out. Now it's well sealed. I just use the fork to press it down. It's super easy. So I just press this down, and the same thing, and there we go, looking all nice. And yeah, look at that. It was a good 3 hours, I think, to make this, but it was worth it. I loved every process of it. And when I was done, I made like 2 trays of this, 30 pieces, and about 1 kilo of flour to give me this quantity. So I put it into the oven and set my oven on 180 degrees. And you can see at the top I used like egg. I beat some egg and rub it on top just to have the golden brown, which you can see it's trying to be shiny and all glitter out there. And it was done after I think 15 minutes. It was ready, and look at the inside. When I'm telling you this was tasty, some people would prefer to fry this. No, I don't want too much oil. That's why I prefer to bake mine, and it tastes just amazing. And you can even save this up in the refrigerator or in the freezer for future use, because you don't have to eat everything up at once. I always just put it in the freezer because you can just take it to work, heat it up in the microwave. And so this was it. And there was some that I forgot to put the egg. You can see it on the side there, so it was dull, the color was not as shiny. So do not forget to put your egg at the top when it's ready to go into the oven. And this is it for today, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope that you learned something, and see you again. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. It will be really appreciated. Thank you, guys. Love you all. Mwah.